What are the best lead sources when it comes to real estate on both the buyers and seller sides? I'm going to be breaking down most of the common lead sources that are available, how much they typically cost in a more premium market like let's say the San Francisco Bay Area, and which of them should you want to do so that you can save a lot of time and money before you go down that path. My name is Spencer Su. Last year, my team has done over $85 million in production. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we are creating videos like this to help other agents scale up their business, but ultimately for us to be able to partner with them. So if you find this video helpful and you want to partner with us, my group at eXp is bringing on hungry individuals that are willing to put in the work, but also follow a solid blueprint. So contact me directly below and let's have a conversation to see if the brokerage could be a fit for you, because we got eXpCon coming in October. Now, when it comes to lead sources, I'm just gonna go down all the different ones that we have used because I know a lot of the numbers on the back end, and then you can decide what is the best for you. Now, keep in mind, all of them work, but all of them require a different level of support to be successful in each. Let's just start labeling some off. I'm gonna put Zillow and Realtor.com both at the same pile. Now, for Zillow and Realtor.com, I'm not talking about flex programs or anything that you pay referral fee afterwards. Most of the referral programs right now are like plus or minus 40% referral, but I'm talking about if you paid for like a zip code or a specific area. In the Bay Area, where our average price points, let's just say it's around over $1 million, you can generally expect to pay about $500 per contact. It doesn't mean this is a closing, it's just $500 for an intro. Now, when it comes to the percent to close, realistically, you should be really happy if you're doing it around 5%. Now, don't let the others trick you that's saying, oh, if you join us, you can do it at X%. Whatever the sales rep says to you that works at those companies, at least slash that expectation by half so that you have realistic expectations. Now, things will still close, and the reality for all of these lead sources, be sure to follow the trainings here or also other platforms to improve your odds of success. Starting off with, what do you say at the first tour? How do you get the right agreements out? How do you have the conversations to move forward, right? There is a funnel that is there, but be mindful of the cost, because think about it. If your commission in a $1 million price point is, let's say, it's $25,000 and it's $500 per contact, even at a 5% ratio, that is still going to be about $10,000 for a referral. $10,000 spent for $25,000 is still a tremendous ROI and is still well worth doing. But you can see how much it costs to play that game. So that's super important when it comes to understanding the most premium one. These will also be the lowest hanging fruits. But realistically, you're still going to be expecting that they may still take 6 to 9 months to ultimately close. Another lead source is a lot of agencies run this. So you look at places like Ylopo, Real Geeks, and plenty of others that do an ad relative to Facebook ads and Google PPC. Their cost per lead can be much less. Usually it's not unreasonable to think that it's plus or minus $50 per lead, but the conversion on it is significantly worse, right? Because if you look at Zillow and Realtor.com, they've already been browsing for some time and they eventually want to go look at a home. Versus Facebook and Google, you're typically distracting them of whatever they were doing that were more social into something real estate related. And so as you can imagine, that conversion is going to be way less. So even though the cost per lead is way less, it's also the conversion is way less. It's less than 1%. But if you still do that math, the math may still work, but it also takes a lot longer because, as I said, you at least got their contact. Maybe one day they may be doing something, but they're at the very, very top of the funnel. So you have to have the system in place for calling, dripping, value add, newsletters, things that can help them understand things faster. There's this whole cycle of things that needs to occur for them to move from just browsing on, scrolling other random cat videos and things like that into ultimately landing and buying and selling a home. But if you do that math, right, that math is still potentially there. But just be mindful, there's a whole process involved, and the timeline is usually 2 years for people to make a transaction, but they'd still do. So that's another lead source that's really important. And then you have organic things. So let's say you post content on Instagram or you post content on YouTube, like how you may be discovering this. It's harder to quantify on that, right? Because you may be starting to do it, but then you have no idea where they are in the cycle. But generally, you should be focused on doing things for 3 to 6 months consecutively every single week for YouTube or every single day for Instagram to then get in the hopes of somebody reaching out to actually want to do something, right? So I would say at minimum, you are spending the time of 3 to 6 months. Now this could be, you could calculate the dollar per hour. You may calculate maybe working with an agency that can help you. You may calculate your own time of like video editings, etc., etc. There's a cost to it, but that game is also very different to then start getting a flow of potential clients. Then you have other partners like other realtors referring business. You use platforms like HomeLight. You have UpNest, OpCity. There's many of these like third-party places that do a referral base. Now this can range usually from like HomeLight at 30%, and there's many others at 40% plus. The slight benefit of that is that you don't have to pay anything up front, but they may or may not take more out of it relative than paying those leads up front, depending on your own skill set and depending on kind of luck, right? And so that's also another avenue that you should definitely sign yourself up with and to get as much opportunities as possible. Now the conversion rate is very similar to Zillow. So if you'll be very happy if you can get conversion at 5%, right? Now the last but not least is through personal referrals. So that's why it's so important to always be relevant to the people that already know you, like you, and trust you, because that conversion rate is usually a lot higher. That conversion rate may be at 10 to 20% depending on when exactly you're tracking it, because there's a lot of people that may get introduced and then they may give up, so they're not going to do anything. They may work with another realtor, they may change their mind. There's so many different options for them that could occur, but that will be by far the highest, right? Either a realtor referral or a personal referral will be by far the highest because they are already doing something and they're asking their friends, hey, look, do you know of anyone that can help me with this move? So as you can see, these are the different key pillars. They all work, they all have different time frames, and they also have a different cycle. So when you think about working with like a Facebook ad or a Google PPC, you gotta be mindful. Are you willing to actually take on the volume to be able to make that work, right? Think about it. You're gonna be doing it at a much more bigger scale because the conversion is much less. So you may be having to talk to hundreds of people throughout the months, if not years, maybe thousands of people. And so if you don't have the systems in place, then don't bother because you're going to be wasting money. So understand the process, understand what you're willing to invest in, understand that you should commit to whatever that platform may be for at least a year to see if that will work or not. And then you may choose to double down, triple down, and go deeper into that, because you can actually scale however much you want when it comes to Facebook and Google PPC ad. You can literally spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month if you wanted to. I hope you found this video valuable and you share with other agents. And like I said, I am running my own program. So if you want to leverage YouTube to generate clients, I've done over $300,000 so far this year from YouTube alone. It does take time, but there is a proven way, and we are accepting a limited amount of people right now in specific markets. My contact details are below. There is a form. Feel free to fill out that form if I can see if this is the right fit for you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.